gallery, which Lily is, I would say you're the, are you director? Director, many hats, mother, everything. And this is all her artwork up on the wall, so at intermission you should take a look at her stuff because it's really powerful. And my name's Joy, and
I'm Jared, I'm the co-host.
And so we'll give you kind of a brief little introduction of Poetry Slam, what little kind of history, and then what's going to happen tonight, and then we'll get started. So, has anyone never been to a Poetry Slam before? Okay, not that, there's just a few people. Oh, good. Okay, well, welcome. I won't make you do poetry on your first time here. But the first original Poetry Slam started in 1984 in my hometown, Chicago. Anyone from Chicago?
No.
At the Green Mill Jazz Cafe, and that Green Mill's still going on now. If you ever go to Chicago, it's an extremely awesome place to go check out. And just by doing poetry, we're doing a political movement by being here for each other and sharing poetry. And slams just happen to be judged. And so when each poet comes up, we have 3 judges. So there's a couple people in the audience who are judges, so raise your hands. Higher, so we can see you. There's 2 more, so we have 3. Hi. Has anyone signed up for poetry that just walked in? Okay, great. You're welcome to have a seat up front here if you can be up close and personal with us. And there's 1 random chair. And so when you think about it, poetry slams have been happening for 30 years, and after I was born, so that's kind of cool. And now I think it's kind of a really awesome movement, and how many people are here is just kind of a testimony to that. So do you want to go over kind of the guidelines of?
Yeah, so to start things off, well, for audience, we don't have a sound system this time, so can you all be quiet?
I think everyone is. Can everyone hear us okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a lot more of you than there are readers, so if 4 people are talking, there's most likely no one's going to hear the reader. But for the reader, it's just you can technically do poetry that's shitty and racist, but we'd rather you not, and if the crowd doesn't like it, they can be loud and I can't stop them.
That's kind of how we handle poetry that's just has a bigotry kind of thing. And not that this crowd would have it, but you never know. And everyone's entitled to have a freedom of their own voice being heard. But so do we. So I usually bring my whoopee cushion, and I forgot it today. Usually I just fart. I've never had to use it, but you could do it with your mouth, But that's what's beautiful about a poetry slam is that everybody has an opportunity to be here, but there's also respect and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else on that regards?
And readers speak loudly since we don't have a sound system.
So, okay, so for the judges, it'll be 1 through 10. So 10 is the best thing you've ever heard. 5 is, probably obviously right in the middle. You don't want to go over 10, but we do encourage to use just decimal points to the first, 8.5 or.
It's so there's no ties,
Yeah,
because
so there's
ties
no
are really
ties.
annoying. So instead of giving an 8, give an 8.1.
So that's kind of how that goes. And so since we have 9, we're going to do 3 rounds. So all the first 9 will go, and then we'll see who has the top scores from there. And then we'll do 6, and then 3. And then the winner gets a $10 gift card to Mega Pizza. So, I'm available if you need someone to eat pizza with. Because the last one was my roommate, and he did not share. I know. It's I ate it without you. So to start this off, we're going to do a sacrificial poet, just to kind of get warmed up. The first person going first. And did you want to be the sacrificial poet for tonight, or do you want someone else to?
I mean, we could just have Lorinda. Do you want to be a sacrifice?
Yeah! Woo-hoo. Okay, so Lorinda, come on up. Again, this is not part of the competition, just you're the first person to go. So come on up.
this one's freshly written, so I didn't have a chance to print it. And it's titled Zoo in Room 346. The cords that lead to the machines monitoring his vitals ensnare him like a gnat caught in a spider's web. Neither Grandpa or the gnat want, in any way, at all, to be there. My mother guards room 346 at the 4th floor of St. Patrick's Hospital like a dragon guards its hoard, picking the nurses she doesn't like out of her righteous teeth with her scythe and claw. Even towards those nurses she does trust. Her eyes are reptilian, sharp, forever following those who dare to enter grandfather's hospital room. My aunt gives crocodilian snaps to those who dare cross her path, barrel rolling my mom and me and the nurses with her words until her prey is drowning in their own tears. I pace like the caged tiger I am, leaving a permanent tread mark in front of the hospital bed. I pace to try to not think about how small the man in the spider web looks and the generic print of the shitty linen hospital gown, how the scent of illness and weakness, tinge of death, coils the predator inside of me too tightly. Snap, snarl, roll. We overkill our grief. We are animals ignoring our human pain. It is easier this way. And when it gets to be too much, we become like the wolves that inhabit the rest of the hospital and howl our grief at the fluorescent lighting.
So the judges just get kind of warmed up. We'll do some scores that will just be numbers.
Oh yeah, side note for the audience, if you like find something that you like really like, you can like snap during them talking. So,
All right,
yeah,
when
there's
judges-
that.
When you've got your scores, go ahead and just show them up in the air.
That what is that a 6.4?
6.4.
Can't read for shit. apparently.
8.5.
And 6.2.
6.2, all right. Lorinda, thank you so much for being the first poet. And my favorite thing to do is for all of us to just come together. So everybody say, thank you, Lorinda. Thank you, Lorinda. Yeah, all right. Okay, so we are ready to start the first round. And I didn't decide who's gonna go first, so tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Jake, you're first. All right. No, feel free to read it.
Yeah, you can totally repeat it. That's what it's.
So this one's called Damn Bro, I'm tripping pretty hard. There's a broken record in my head. There's a broken record in my head. Sleeping feet deep in repeating heated sheet spreads. There's a broken record in my bed. Fleeing one home's banishment. Throwing dollars at the odometer oblivious. A candidate on candid camera. Still revolving with the rest of the planet, yet standing in a foreign radius of kilometers. Vomit blurs and herds of involuntary endeavors involving volatile situations. Episodes of esoteric concept exploration, sidewalk sitting, oral excrement degradation dismissed as teenage experimentation. Gas station food rations, 80 cents eaten up, 20 to the tongue, congratulations. We thought we learned so much in those months, dissecting tree stumps just to find that wood never changes. Same places, same streetlights waiting in the same pavements, to gaze in amazement, is to render a nightly sight wasted. We change places, but places don't change, and I forgot my name while sifting through faces. From shaving shavings from expo erasers, to Crayola crayon wax-covered folder desks, and makeshift comic books and notebook pages to post-graduation slam poem attempts, asking where my imagination went, money spent on books I already read, a pen and a pad shouldn't require this much patience, 18 is way past the age to blame for laziness. Days exist in a haze of daziness. Patrons dish their patronships. I'll never ask for a raise again. Awake at 10 again. Both abbreviations. Mental fabrications lead to speculation of a matrix situation. 18 years of experience, and I'm still just a teenager with the cliche claim that nothing exists. Shit, maybe ignorance is bliss.
Everybody say thanks, Jake. Yeah. Don't you wish like you always had a crowd, just always.
Okay, judges,
When you're ready, just show them up, no pressure.
cool. That's a 7.5. Okay, then an 8.8. Okay, and a 6.7. Okay, cool.
For some reason, Morella's name is calling to me. Would Morella like to go next?
Hey guys. Let me mold my body along your curves. Trickle yourself entire, vulnerable, nude, my being exposed. I want your intimacy to linger along the edges of my lips. I ache to be consumed by your eyes, keen with emotion long after dawn. Take me to your intimate domain where hearts race, the rhythm of our silhouette melded on cotton sheets. Feel your way, a slow descend along the venue of my rhythmic swell. Allow me to graze at the weir of your femininity, drinking the honey from your pink walls. Drape your thighs upon my shoulders. Let the currents of satisfaction cascade up your spine. Find my torso parallel to yours, my body pressed to you, equal in delirium. Allow our bodies to weave in the throes of elation, slow motion, ecstasy. Hold my sated body that tremors from the wake, a union of our souls release, a bond.
Everybody say thank you, Morella.
Thank you, Morella!
While the judges are scoring, we'll have Radska be next. And then after Radska, we'll just have someone who signed up who wanted to do poetry. So Kate, do you want to go after Radska, just do a poem? Okay.
Okay, that's a 6.5. Then a,
6.4
wow, okay.
and 6.4.
Sorry, let's see.
All right, Miss Radska.
Am I supposed to be there?
Yes, come on up.
Wow.
I'll give you just a little bit of music.
Traveling music. Well, that joy. Awesome. Okay, I'm used to a mic because I usually have a voice that doesn't project, but tonight I'm projecting. So, I was in Charlottesville. When Charlottesville happened, I wasn't there. I was a Montanan in Flagstaff, Arizona, and I felt adrift. I felt my America unraveling. I feel my America unraveling from the seams. I hear Heather Heyer's last chant, shouts of protest against hate on the front lines in Charlottesville, Virginia. I see her open womb, ravaged by rage. I revile the stink of bodies charged by vile brutality, bearing torches in our streets, inflamed with rhetoric soiled by whiteness, labeled supreme. I hear the wind roar out warning, toxic flames choke breath from raging fires, fanned by the cloak of a president who pleads for brute force. He leads a nation astray in disarray, a menace to the world. The stars and stripes rise to half-mast. Red bleeds into songs of liberty. 50 blue stars awash without direction. So many dreams at stake, ready to be a sacrifice on the altar of the state. I try to scrub stains from the fabric of our nation. My hands turn red and raw. I cry monsoons of sadness, a tropical downpour rushing with remorse. I look into Montana's big sky. A dark cloud casts a shadow of gloom. A Christ of fascist spews words and punches of contempt. He pledges to represent us, but casts votes to fleece the coffers of the commons. I need to be transported, to feel my spirit soar. I ride my Harley on Route 66. Heat rises to my fingertips from roadways of regret. I ride past the Navajo Nation, who mourn uranium scars on their sacred land. I smell asphalt and blood tears on the trail. I seek healing from the many directions. I see raven and coyote sent to guide me. I rise with all my being from the soles of my feet. I stretch my limbs, which wear the scars of time. I invite new growth to metamorphosize me. I fly on the back of an eagle. My wings spread in joy. I fly over my America. I see people rise in unison. I join a universal dance of welcome. One and one and one times thousands. Shoulder to shoulder, we bear arms loaded with love.
Thank you for that. Ooh, that got me feeling like this. I don't know what that emotion is, but thank you, Radska. Thank you, Radska. So while we're waiting for the judges, we'll just have a poet who wanted to just come in and do some poetry. And we'll start after.
Who's gonna do the medal?
We'll wait until we get the scores.
Got it.
Okay, that's 8.3 and a 6.6.
7.1. Kate, what is something about you that we don't know?
I wrote the medical marijuana law in Montana.
Wow.
And my piece is called The Medical Marijuana Make a Fast Buck Blues. Who's got the bud? Who's got the stuff? Who's gonna be there with the goods at the back door if the harvest all goes bust? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose? Who's gonna end up with the medical marijuana make a fast buck blues? How many middlemen? How many white shirts on the dole? Who will use the law to win? And who will use rock and roll? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose? Who's gonna end up with the medical marijuana make a fast buck blues? How many talking heads? How many magazines? Who's the new kingpin? Who's rocking the new scene? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose? Suicide Zenda. She sold weed for 20 years. Then she made the business legal, thought it would retire age-old fears. Now she's got paperwork, a schedule, places to be. Yep, she's legitimate, but she's no longer free. Medical marijuana is not without its casualties. Zenda used to think it's unfair she had to live out on the edge. Now, she's answering to the mundane and the government instead. Folks used to be happy with what she had to give. Now, their demands encroach upon how she found to live. Legal marijuana, is it good news? It's relative. The doc writes you your permit, you're all feeling free and clear. You get to smoke your marijuana, you don't feel any fear. But say a prayer for those people from whom you used to score. You know, the folks that kept it running, they can't work there anymore. Suicide Zenda pulled the trigger, and she hit the floor. Suicide Zenda. Goodbye, Suicide Zenda. There's no room for you, Zenda. Zenda is no more.
Yeah, so this is I'm Keenan Creedon. I'm kind of one of the writers that the discretionary warnings are for. This is a poem about violence, so sexual violence, young ears, ears that aren't young enough, be warned. Foreskin that is oh so entangled in the braces of Anne of Green Gables, Jr. And dear God, he's many years her senior. All of the many muscles on two faces wincing. So Soren Kierkegaard, what can you say? Say, what can you say of the little carbonated pleasures and pains? Oh, dear God, Soren, hum me Caribbean spiritual, whisper soliloquy on the way he oh so accidentally strangled. Oh, anxiety's orgasm, are you never not homicidal? Tisk, 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 tisk. I was seeing stifling chuckles of the suicide recital in the secret garden hidden within the secret garden. Hey, how are you, Heidi? Heidi, how's your health? Heidi, how's your health now? Hey, Heidi. Heidi, where's your poetic wealth now? Oh, it was never invested. No, it was defrauded or more stolen. It was stolen in Blitzkrieg roadside rest stops. God damn you, highway patrolman. God damn you, zealous Montanan. Oh, I will give you blankets for warmth, rations of saltines and clean water, buy you coffee that is less a latte and more a bullet and farm. I can find you shelter, solace in the secret garden, hidden within the secret garden. And so many little women, they've truly mutilated me now. And they were the ones who were castrated now, okay? Hey, how can it be that there is tetanus raging and pulsating in the cracks of all of the frail? How can it be that the mutually sordid become conduits and echo chambers of betrayal? It is capital E evil paradox that we cannot untangle. I will retire harmed and sweating fragrances of bitter almonds in the secret garden hidden within the secret garden. I am a young boy again. To this day, I catch Dickensian sapiosexuals chewing at my toes. They call me some kind of crown prince of Gemini paupers, but nobody knows the trouble I have seen. 6 years old, arms locked back, wrists seized, my clothes were taken from me. Nobody knows the troubles I've seen. She will never know. She doesn't deserve to now, the things that she's said. I found my body too young to die, naked, used, and mummified in non-existent film cartridges found in dollar store disposable cameras, hidden within the secret garden, hidden within the secret garden. I am a young boy again. I am another woman. There is no such thing as men. I am another woman. Thank you.
That was a journey.
Oh yeah, secret garden
You went
square.
deep in the garden. Thank you, Creed. Ever say, thanks for the journey, Creighton?
Thanks for the journey, Creighton.
Yeah. Okay, while we're scoring, I did want to make one mention that I'm really happy that you said, is that you did provide kind of like a warning, and we forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
So
we
if your poem brings up for you these triggers, it's really great, so thank you for providing that. And so please do that too if your poem, if you feel like it has some emotional content that way. So while we're getting the judges' scores, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 poets left, so we'll do Richard, Valen, Nicole, and Jude in that order. And then in between here and there, we'll have 2 more just poets. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm miscounting. 1, 2, 3. Ah, there we go. Okay, then Kenny will go last. So, all right.
Okay, scores. Okay, so that's an 8.5 and a 6.8. And an 8.2.
All right. Thank you. Is that all the scores? All right, let's have Richard. This is Richard's first time. One for right now, and then if you go to the second round, then you do another one.
Okay. Well, I'd like to dedicate this to my wife, Simri, and my Lord Jesus. It's called Beauty and the Beast. Simri Shea, was the darkest hour of days. I watched wide-eyed your life fade away in the night. I stared hell right in the eyes. My last time it was I who fell to the depths, devoured for hours, short rhythmic breaths, sort of cinematic comes death. Fade to black, impelled by the darkness, wretched, gnashing of teeth, lack of having love, heartless and outstretching was the pit underneath. Awake yet asleep on my feet. At stake and never missed a beat. Turned around on that back road. I learned about dawn, the attack and let go. With raised arms, praise God amongst farms. Beauty and the Beast, you knew me when we were beyond being reached. Dynamics of lost souls break into pieces. Fit.
Richard. Passionate. That was so passionate. Say thanks for your passion, Richard. Thanks for your passion, Richard. Yeah. Okay, while we're getting scores, I think I said Nicole was going to go after we get the scores. I might know something.
I think it was second to last, but it's whatever. It's great.
I'm feeling it. So just
Bring it.
come on up and just own the space while we're getting the judges' scores.
Then you, 7.9.
Okay, this is Nicole.
Is it me? Am I on?
You're on. You're on, baby.
How many times have we avoided tragedy in our lives? Split seconds that made all the difference between life and death. Oh, oh, death. Oh, death, won't you spare me over for another year? We are the lucky ones, bestowed on this luscious planet full of choices, full of breath. And I don't know, it's my time living in fear and dying, grappling with something I can't control. And I don't want to take for granted everything I think I know about how tremendous it really is to be alive. I've learned this sitting beside the bedsides of those on hospice care as they lie in wait to slip away from this earthly world, slowly letting go of their mortal bodies, soon never to cast their eyes on the beauty that the rest of us just pass on by without taking notice. And it's this closeness that I most appreciate. Being let in at the end of life to bear witness to the bounty of life. At the end of someone's physical manifestation. And it's not sad, like so many people assume it would be, spending time with those at the end of theirs. I see it as a great honor and an opportunity to learn from my elders about what it means to die well by living well right here and now. And so, in the interest of still learning, oh, death, won't you spare me over for another year?
For your song, Nicole.
Thank you for your song, Nicole.
I love that. I was not expecting that. I don't know if you were either. That was, love it. Okay, while we're getting the scores, Valen's gonna come up, and then we'll just have, is Rebecca, where's Rebecca? Is that Rebecca? Did she usually? Someone signed up saying they wanted to just do a poem. How about Amanda? Is there Amanda here? Oh. Okay, these people just disappeared. What about Judas? Is there still? These people don't. You can probably do it. Okay, if you want. Okay, did we get the scores yet?
Okay, so 9.3, 9.5, and 9.6.
Okay, now.
Alright, this one's called Fearful Edges. There is a room in my house no one has been allowed near for 20 years. When I was a kid, we used to drive through the big puddle near McDonald's over and over again. I thought it was because the splash was fun. Only later would I learn the kind of torment that drove my mom to do this. We have a fifth family member we don't talk about, and their name is OCD. They're a parasite that multiplies and infects a new family member every couple of years. I watch as my mom stops going in the garage, as my brother will only stand in the one spot on the porch that he deems safe. People only see the surface of this illness. They only see the odd habits, the avoidance, the delays. They don't see the constant undercurrent of scalding fear. They don't know about the assault of horrific thoughts clawing at your brain, the fist-sized knot of anxiety that finds resonance in your chest, the irresistible lure of compulsions that entrap you before you even realize you're doing them. I watch my mom and brother spiral deeper into this vortex, watch in despair as this disorder consumes them, until it finally tries to take me too, tries to eat me alive and run me into the ground. But fear has ruled me my entire life, and it won't win this time. OCD is the family member we don't talk about, because then we would have to acknowledge this pain that twists through our bodies, that fierce, irrational caller who finds what you love in order to hollow it out, until only the fearful edges remain. I can't help but think about the millions of families ravaged by mental illness who don't even know if they're allowed to talk about it. Who might not even know what it is that haunts their home. I tell my brother I'm sorry for all the times I got mad at him for doing compulsions. He won't look at me. He just keeps driving. I tell my mom I'm going to therapy. And for the first time in my 23 years, she admits she has OCD, but she still won't say the word. I'm trying to uncover this monster that's been hiding in the room no one's allowed in. And maybe one day, I'll find a way to open the door.
Just so you know, Valen has avocado socks. Not that that makes poetry added to it. I wanted to say, let's see, thank you for your truth, Valen.
Thank you for your truth, Valen.
That's important. I hate family secrets. Man. Okay, what who does? So we've gone, while the judges are doing their scoring, I think next up will be Jude. Then there's just one more after that, and then we'll take an intermission. Which, like, the bathrooms are that way, and if you wanna, did you miss it? Smoke?
Yeah, I totally did. What was yours? Okay, 9.6, then, oh, yeah. See, I read that right, but I said it wrong. 9.1, right? Okay.
Alright. Jude, where did you go?
I'm ready.
You're, hi.
Just didn't want to interrupt all the schools.
Yeah. All right, we are ready for you.
Boys, paint me what ain't me and what is you. Real men, I miss you and what I thought we were. Antoine, I fought Fisher. I'm not a good listener, but I'm listening. Boys, paint me what ain't me and what's in you that's missing. I'm sick of dressing in the skin of the aggressor. Lily White, Mr. Missing emotional release. His bullets are kissing innocence in the streets, in our schools, in our theaters, and you suited up news fools and bottom feeders. Listen, fear ain't a leader. I hear fear is your good lead, though. I should take a moment to breathe, or at least try to sleep, but words are overflowing, overcoming, and hovering over me. And I'm sick of dressing in the skin of the aggressor. Lily White, male repressed, mirroring the oppressor. I guess, sir, I didn't tailor my complexion. This pale flesh I should mention comes from a woman and a man happening to meet, and that's how you get a me. And if a me is an I, well, then who am I to you? Well, to you, I'm a you. And I can't quit myself from hurting over what strangers do. And I can't quit feeling so connected to you. Yes, you, the one. The one in front of the gun lives forever. The one in front of the gun lives forever. Did you hear the rainfall this morning, how it washed the rooftop off while you were mourning? And the wind winding up while you were in hiding, What's left to say on the other day? Just another. And why are we fighting, my brother, my ex, my mother, my dead father, new friends, old friends, why do we bother? We're slaughtering each other, the chattering automatics applauding, and the audience is utterly ornery, and it ought to be. The enemy's ornery because he's gotta be for any of this to make sense. His 22 caliber 2 cents. His 22 caliber 2 cents. Was he evicted for no cause or had his rent raised? Was he a foster kid for seemingly no cause? How was he raised? Causes meanings may be lost on effect. One parent or two parents, or apparently he loved his God with all his might, or his mind wasn't right. Asking ourselves why is a dead end, but maybe not yet. From Sandy to Boston to Lafayette, I'm lost on demanding, damning lines. Aurora to Nickel Mines to Thurston to Santana, that man is mercilessly rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. To Red Lake to Orlando, why is it always a man though? From Columbine to Isla Vista to West Side, eyes wide shut to our boys growing up, never really growing up, to Chattanooga to Virginia Tech, I ain't ever forget, I ain't ever forget, I ain't ever forget.
Scores?
I'm just trying to think of what to say. Thank you, Jude. That was power in that.
Okay, that's an 8.5 and a 9.
Yeah.
And a 9.7.
Okay, last person.
Kenny. Oh, hi, Kenny.
Okay, so this one I'm gonna read off my phone because I'm an asshole a little bit.
Love you, Kenny.
Thematically, this is gonna kind of piggy off of Jude's poem. So, yeah, it's called Girls' Night Out. Some of you might have heard this before because I haven't wrote anything new in a while. Anyways, Girls' Night Out. The girls are back in town, smoking their cigarettes and running red, screaming nasty things at all the little young men. Ladies jumping out of their lifted trucks, smokes locked between lips and tucked balls of chew in cheeks. Walking into bars in packs of 12, drinking beer, slapping asses and butting heads. The guys just glance down and try to ignore it. Rounds and rounds of shots thrown back till the late night passes round and I hear them howl in the air. The girls are back in town, stumbling out the front door. Down the sidewalk, a pack of estrogen tramples over all masculinity. Nothing means no tonight, no. Soon enough, a looker rounds the corner. The pack checks him out, licking their lips. 6'3", a tank top and khaki shorts. Man, is this dude asking for it? Hey babe, you got a girlfriend? He turns his head and tries to walk past, but the mask won't seem to budge. I'm talking to you. You saying you don't like what you see. He looks up at the hungry eyes, silent, the stares prodding up and down. Cool it, Marie, maybe he's gay or something. Laughter explodes around him, but they're losing interest. Girls disperse, passing down the street, and he stands there, flustered. The tension dips in the air and in his lungs, and he can take a breath. Down the street, they reconvene. What a fag, and the pack cackles. Thank you.
Kenny, what comes to mind, I just want to say, thank you for consent, Kenny.
Thank you for consent.
Yeah. Okay, while we're waiting for the judges' scores, I did forget to mention, what student paper are you from?
It's the Montana Kaiman at the university.
Okay.
Yeah.
This gal's taking some pictures, mostly of the poets.
Mostly the poets. If you don't want a photo taken of you, you can just come up to me and wave at me.
So after we get the scores, we'll take like, probably like just 5 minutes to go take a potty break and stuff.
7.9 and 6.1.
What?
Yeah, yell at the judges. What's the second score?
Don't do that.
6.1, okay.
Could be embarrassing. Why not come back?
9.1. Okay, actually before we do intermission, I'm gonna perform a poem because I Okay, so if any of y'all know what Bun Poetry is, I sent a video submission of this to their contest. And it's called Pink, and it's about being a little gay boy that's scared of Montana. Also, me trying to be like a good activist against racism, so I talk about that. And if any POC people get offended, just rip me apart with words. Pink. Fear is pink and no, nothing. Crusted Kool-Aid on the edges of childhood. The baby mouse I found hay baling, and I stared into its blind eyes, my pink heart thumping into my stomach. When I stare into its eyes, and some subconscious part of me remembers what it's like to be naked, scared, and pink, the Arizona Peach can in the black track and field hoodie's pocket, or the pink triangles sewn into the denim jackets in the face of fascism, and the pink flames of the 258 candlelight vigils for the kids, for the queer kids, splattering their lives like teeth biting glass, since the bar sign reading Pulse, the red, the 15 heart monitors falling to plateaus, the paint the heat bleached faces at the snarl of the batons and the rubber bullets. the pink of the bricks that we need to throw at the police beating the black boys on the streets, that let the boys with white skin rape because they have a promising future. Promise is a word for the white, a dusty road, pink, the smoldering 1 in 10, center's ashes, the gasoline cans sloshing the walls of the building, the bullets my race have riddled Mike Brown, or the 492 black civilians shot by police this year. Pink, the fear trapping in the ibuprofen into my gullet vision, in the kaleidoscope looking into my mirror, fingers sliding into the medicine cabinet, fragments of myself in the reflection, they are broken puzzle pieces, a shattered bottle out on the sidewalk. Pink is the fear of being myself. Both my thin legs limp on the couch, my eyelids pink, sleep deprivation wins against fear for now. Pink is the brilliant particles of fire burning the facts out of the history books. So the schools teach that we queers don't exist. Columbus was a hero, peaceful protests were. Thank you. Pink, the thumb tucked a handful of quarters. Pink, the fingertips blistering with the magenta blood zigzagging in the concrete, the pink sun beaming down. We stare at the house we cannot return to. Whenever it's a cross on a door or the eviction notice, the house is being torn down in July and we clear out in May. And when I was a child, I was told that freedom is red, white, and blue, but I know for a fact that is wrong, that freedom is pink. Yeah, so we forgot to explain this, but like how the rounds are gonna work is like, since we're going into the second round, the bottom three, like the three with the least highest scores, are not continuing, but like the 6 other people are. And then this round, there's 6, then the three bottom again, and then the last round is just 3. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. But, so, yeah, the 3 people that are not making it to the next round is Marilla with a score of 19.3. So can we all say thank you to Marilla? And then Ratska with a score of 22. So can we all say thank you, Ratska?
Thank you.
And then last, Jake with a score of 23.
Thank you, Jake.
So Alyssa's gonna start us off for the second round. Are you pointing at me?
Yeah, Judge is in the facility.
Oh, that's okay, because she's not gonna be judged.
Oh,
She's
okay.
just gonna, she's a sacrificial poet for the second round.
Okay.
We're not actually.
Apparently I'm a sacrifice, man. Okay. This one's called Love is a Bitch, and I'm sorry if this offends anyone. If it does, just go like tss, and I'll know. Okay? Love is a bitch. She pulls you in enough to think maybe you can be happy. It's cute at first, the mystery, the ocean-like motion, the crashing and receding. But how long until you realize it's her ploy? Get past the fortress built around you and get you hooked on her heroin skin, have you on your knees for those cocaine-shaped eyes. You jump in front of a train if only her silky voice would caress your body. Do you care if she's injecting you with poison every time you make love? Or do you even know?
Will you become one of the pawns in the game? One of the broken people on the wind when she shatters you? Or will you take caution? Yes, love is a bitch. And I've fallen for her. Now my body is shards of glass shattered on the wind. My arms are in the mountains and my face in the sky. My legs are sinking in the ocean, and my heart, you ask, she still has it. Forever lost.
Are all poets returned from the bathroom? I mean, judges returned from the bathroom?
All the poets going at the same time.
All poets and judges? I don't know if they all went to the bathroom at once.
I mean, that'd be impressive if there's only one bathroom.
We did have a meeting before we union.
Okay, so all judges here, everything copacetic, cool. I think we're gonna start off with Valen this time.
Sorry. This one's called Owning Up to Being Human. I never could get over failing girlhood. I'd spend the rest of my life trying to make up for it. I was good at school and felt like a failure at pretty much everything else, so I was determined to succeed at the one thing I was good at. But of course, my perfectionism didn't stop there. Perfectionism is a self-defense mechanism. It's a response to chaos, a failed attempt to avoid pain. Perfectionism is a denial of the human condition. It will try to convince you that you're suffering because you aren't perfect, instead of because you're human. An addiction to self-improvement is not growth. It is a fundamental rejection of the self. It is saying that I can't accept myself until I become everything I am not. I know all this, and yet, every time I attempt something, there's this dialogue in my head. Next time, I'll get it right. It will be like it's supposed to. If I just try harder, one day I'll get it right. I have never gotten it right. At least not when right means perfect. I think about all the great inventions, poems, books, paintings, and ideas lost to humanity, all because their creators worried they weren't good enough. That it was better for these things to not exist than to be flawed. My mind still roars every time I write, kicking up the old stories of inadequacy. But something's changed. Now, I keep writing, and that's enough.
Okay, I'm feeling like saying, thank you for being enough, Valen. Thank you for being enough, Valen. Yeah. I like that. This is also Valen's second time reading. You're like totally coming into your poet self. It's nice. All right. Who would you like to go next while we're waiting for the judges?
Like if that were an actual reader.
Is that you go next for like actual reader? Judy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Spacing.
All right, thank you. Okay, so the scores we got for that one are 8.3, 7.5, and 8.9. All right, Gina, take us in for the second.
This piece is about being an asshole, being friends with assholes, and not wanting to be an asshole. East Gleason Pizza, Montevilla. Whiskey when I'm winning nothing. Rum and Coke when I'm not running. Gonna be gunning, wishing I would be something. Little bit of water, just to blunt the edge, just to blunt the blade, but I'm afraid and you won't know it. Shit. I'd never show it to you, the know-it-all. You may know it all, but I'm the one to do it all, and I lose it all before I learn to love it all. Can I love it all? Shit. Can I love it all? If words are for show, what can I do for you? You're asking what I can do if you're working slow. Can you write? Well, can you? Take whatever you wrote and burn it. See if you can prove you learned it. Then maybe you can write more if you attach less. You're feeling low, let me address. What's the matter writing less? If it's good, it'll rest. Cut the chatter. Just write and you might get better. You might just write something that matters. Testosterone, oxytocin, serotonin, cortisol, and melatonin releases from me when I'm moaning. Releases from me and the other boys, and we're moaning and we're acting like we're owners of our own junk, and we're swollen up. Just sinking in ourselves, not thinking about much else. But what's pink and fresh getting you here's like playing chess. A Rubik's Cube figuring you out. We undress, I'm figuring you now, and I'm much less than what I said I was and everything I promised myself I'd be. I lie to myself to see what I want you to see. I lie to myself to see what I want you to see. See, you're much better than me. I'm a pig, I'm a man. White bread, I'm bland. I'm the undead walking. Headless dick talking about nothing else but what your profile says you wantin'. It's stuntin', stunt work, but it works till you get smart and it hurts. And I'm sorry I did this. I'm just lonely and I wanted another moment feeling something other than sadness. It's madness. Maddening like hitting the wrong note trying to sing. Hurts to sing. Broke my jaw smoking weed in the garage. My buddy swang. He said I said the wrong thing, spitting off raw remarks about his aw little sis. Are you speculating what I'll be calculating later? Malcontent brewing, that alpha sent you wooing nothing but was nothing but a waste. In love with the chase, you hating how late you are to the start and I'm miles ahead who you are. The date's been set, and it's a widening gap. You slack. I work on work, you chat about work. Your hands are baby smooth, my face is dirty with dirt, and I'm dirtier and hurting from her. At least I'm living, reliving, and renewing. Show me what you're doing. The same old thing, the same gold ring, the grab and the cap, doing the office thing. I did that thing and I'm doing another. I'm doing more than young lovers, making love to the universe, nature's mother. Paying respect and not expecting anything other than nature's best mad faces. All we have is each other. And why are we fighting, my brother, my ex, my mother, my dead father, new friends, old friends? Why do we bother? Because we die in the end and just want to laugh. So let's settle our past to make sure our good feelings last.
Feel your passion, dude.
Thank you, June.
While we're waiting for scores, who would you like to go next?
Ian, you want to go?
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll just I'll just play next to you.
That's beautiful.
And 9.1. All right. Thanks, Keith.
All right, this one's a bit long, a bit loquacious, very deep. And it's called Ballad of Wholesome Iron Bridge Graffiti. Remember when those Mennonite men seized me by the neck, the waist, the ankles, and hurtled me into the twisted brushwork of the forest demonstrates to man that he is wholly inferior to spiders? No, only I do. And the words they chanted in tantric broken record meters stained to my demeanor. Can't you see it crackling in your flaccid bathroom mirror? They were howling that the hunt for heathens is on, and despite my protest that I was a Cretan occupational defector, I said a beat resurrector. They burst onward. Our order is complete. Your tempestuous lifestyle is perpetually obsolete. So suffer, Cretans, suffer. But why bother? After all, I've always admired the companies of arachnids and of thorns. I was born into them. Only swaddling blankets and nettle and cobwebs for yours truly, nobody. Tethered to splintered wagon wheel, I do the bidding. Mr. Beast of Burden, jawless donkey, demurely dressed in brown Canadian tuxedo, roasting bones all night before breaking the rest. Come dawn, I walked into all the trapdoors. My hooves graze every punji stake of the relations. My pain allegedly prioritized. Apologize! But there's no room for compromise beside this elephant. Let the locomotives swallow me before the microphones hollow me for crucifixion. I'll have you know that I know your unknown knowns and that you do not know those unknown knowns like I do. And so I acclimate to the hate. I acclimate to the shame. I acclimate to the climate of this malice and the abode that the unequivocal violence became. Inquisitors, strap me to the rack and inform me of your gruesome gifted pain I inflict. I saw Galileo bum a cigarette off of Abraham Maslow. He said it was rolled by his associate Edward Monk in some kind of a racket. The paper was made of a rag sheet and the tobacco, it's totally wacky. A nearby tenant, Peter Kropotkin, he interjected. He said, it's ironic to inhale flaming propaganda with your hashish. Meanwhile, Leonard Peltier, Stokely Carmichael, and Studs Terkel are being flogged by Kafkaesque thrashers who were informed by the comrade George Orwell on his way to spectate. He's going to become irate at the rumble between the Hume angels and the devil's Slavoj advocates over pornography, the problem of evil. Acclimate to the meaninglessness of the calendar date, of the late great gang of freight weight, hate, forever locomotion for the ability to mate. The outlaw prophet Elijah St. Cain and his trusted compadre, the subcomandante confidante, rode a camel through the needle's eye and guzzled the fruits of labor of one notorious palm white drinker. They squandered with Comte de la Tremont, Rimbaud, Heraclitus, and a fleet of Gaza strippers, the brothers Jesus, Johnny, Charlie, and Weird Willie. They were all there, with her, go figure. Gummo Marx, he watched from above after winning Russian roulette with Nikolai Tesla. The test festered with blessed blisters and bliss with kisses created by peyote and talcum powder on the pain of all of the lepers. And what plague doctor treated Mary Magdalene for the chlamydia that was given by Nebuchadnezzar at Alexander Dumas' lynching. Acclimate to that hate today, but the sexy sisters of King Solomon's least favorite concubine, they were fisted by E.E. Cummings, and she came. And there with it the zodiac sign manifest, massive crab, cervical cancer. I am a Gemini, and my descent from the archaic stargazer praxis makes me an unequivocal sycophant to the unconscious cosmic alignment that they claim. Any consciousness aligned with the cosmos is going to be masked within lunacy, okay? The woman who interpreted my charts, she touched my hands, and her doctrine was stained with my sticky mantra, give me helium or give me death. And so, my breath is visible in July. And this is Albuquerque. See what you do to me? Acclimate to the magic of transgression. Idolatry steams as much as it screams. Acclimate to the fury. Acclimate to the anxious rivalry, the scientific acerbic reads, the clinically careful gluttony, the endless transgression economy. Acclimate to the fate of affection.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. Yeah.
I want you there at the end of the world. There's student homes.
I'll do it, I'm sure.
Okay.
It's not too much.
All right, so while we're waiting for scores, after that, Nicole, you'll be up next. You probably don't need the stand. No. I'll move it for you. Earlier today, I was looking up the lyrics to The End of the World. It's pretty amazing. Like, while we're waiting. 6 o'clock TV hour, don't get caught in foreign time. Slash and return, listen to yourself turn. Lock 'em in uniform, look, burn, blood, every brother has to live. I don't wanna 7, even 7. Okay, 8.1 and 7.8. Thank you kindly. Okay, Nikhil, take us in to the 4th poet.
My heart aches for you, my brothers and sisters who are clutched by the bottle, pills or booze, or blunt object of forced dispersion. The disease of addiction lies deep in our cultural heritage, our ancestral lineage, our human disposition. And there are too many to name that have been slain by the multitude of tendrils curling out from the depths of its affliction. And I was gratefully raised in the rooms of recovery by a mom willed to walk the road of sobriety. Trained in the art of learning compassion on the battlefield of folks trying to get clean. Listening to their stories of unravel. Fiending for conscription to both lives for entirely different reasons at the same time. One operating in light and one in shadow. And I learned a lot of somethings at my mom's side in all those meetings. I learned to listen like you mean it and live one day at a time. I learned the power of community and finding your tribe. I learned that life was too precious and to spend it blitzed out. And I learned what true authenticity was all about. And I learned what it means from the heart to share. And I learned to have mad love and respect for the serenity prayer. Having acceptance for the things that we cannot change. Developing courage to change the things that we can. And honoring the wisdom to know the difference. Honoring the wisdom to know the difference. And now, well, you might not believe me, but it's true. I've never even smoked pot. And after only a handful of times, I gave up drinking long ago because I knew better. I had learned better in those rooms. Please don't think you're immune to the grips of this disease. Watch closely your actions because there's a spectrum at play. And if you're already in the fray, please find a way to work the program to the best of your ability, one day at a time, my friends. And maybe just one breath at a time.
You want to go next?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we just have Kenny and Richard. After this, Madison will just close us out with just being a poet, being awesome. And we're just gonna roll into the next one because it's already 10 till 9. So there'll be no intermissions, but help yourself and feel free to get up as you need to. Kenny, tell us something about you that we don't know.
You were part of an international magazine.
I was part of an international poetry magazine in high school called Airy. Our judges going.
We'll wait for the judges. Okay, we got 9.1, thank you. And 8.6 and 9.2. Thank you very much. All right, thanks.
I wrote this one today. It's like a conceptual narrative poem, sort of. It doesn't have a title yet. I crossed the street one smoky night, post-it notes pinned to my arms and legs, and even under my eyelids there is a picture of me and a list of personal values I'm still learning to follow. Less a man or less a pedestrian, more a walking bulletin board brimming with layers and layers of reminders. Tuesday lunch dates and catchy pop songs posted over unpaid phone bills on top of ex-girlfriends' numbers and half-remembered inebriated regrets. That's all the deeper I'm willing to dig. Walking into the corner bar, I feel 3 pinpricks beneath my left arm, one to remind me of my self-respect and 2 drink limit, another stating my father's alcoholic tendencies I hope to never inherit. The third a minor postscript to the first, 3 drink limit, that's final. I leave my 3rd beer and step out for a smoke, plucking a torn note from behind my ear. I look down in a haze and read, "Don't forget this." So I rolled the paper with tobacco, smoked it to a bitter end, and tossed it.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny.
All right, our last poet in this round is Richard. You say you've never done this before.
I've done it one other time, I was like 16, 17, but I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
A lot
is-
of drugs since then. I'm off it now, I'm sober. Thank God, that's all I
You're ready though. You're on
I
fire.
think so. I think I'm ready.
Fire, Richard. Love it. What is something that you love about writing poetry?
Well, poem in the Greek means workmanship. I like that it's mine and I can do with whatever I want with it. And now we got a place to share it. That's kind of cool.
I had no idea that that's what poetry meant.
Yeah,
Workmanship.
in the Greek, workmanship. Do you know sincere means without wax? And from the Latin, it means without wax. They used to make the sculptures and they put fill up wax to make it look perfect. And without wax was actually meant, you know, it was worth more. So sincere means without wax.
Okay, we have a 7.4, 8.2, and 8.8. Thank you kindly. All right, Richard, take this in. Take us out.
Shot in the vein dulls out the pain, but for a short run. In the end, when all is said and done, worst was reached in the days of numb. Off the hip, nickname could be Chip, but we just stick with Rick. Brain to brick, mixed up by pain and grit. Holding the Bible, teeth needing a revival phase, but won't quit. Eyes glazed, I plead the fifth. Life way slow and definite. What was youth of our days never really amounted to zip. Hung in the balance, I took the risk. Fade out with my fang out, hit like we can't miss. Blitzed, lost amidst the mist. It finally sinks in, we are fixed. Zombies of the apocalypse. Driven by moonlight, blasting that YOLO mix. All in vain, we made our wish. Without Jesus Christ, we die immortalized, shamed in the bottomless pit. Wasted, or did we make it? Blanketed by all our self-hatred. Lie in wait, friend, it's sign of the times. Finale, the end. Amen.
Richard? Yeah. Okay, while we're waiting for the judges, Madison will just close out our second round as a non-scored poem. So take us away.
You want me to go even while they're...
While we're scoring, yeah.
Alright, so this poem is very personal to me. Only one other person has ever heard it, and it's got some violence and some sexual violence and some self-harm. I guess those are the only triggers I can put in there. Alright. Look for a star. Close your eyes wherever you are. Breathe in and out until the end. Slowly hope your head will mend. When the knife cuts deeper than it should, and you taste oblivion, and it's so good. All the thoughts are blotted away, everything left to yesterday. Going deeper out into the sea, waiting for the tide to sing to me. It comes and goes, such is life. It also ends, most of my strife. Draining the bottle of every last drop, not even thinking about how to stop. Taking each pill one by one, hoping that this time you'll be done. By now the dangerous game is won, and fame taunts you as an inferno ensues. Hoping it'll take you, and the abuse. Cover the bruises with long sleeves. Hope you find the strength to leave. Don't feel a thing, let it go. While he's upon you, hopefully you know. One day you'll be out of his grasp. One day you won't have to rasp. When your throat feels swollen and your tongue feels swollen, your thighs instinctively pressed together, the searing hot pain marked there forever. When you feel repulsed, his arms surround, when your head blares and your heart pounds, and you hear the words, I love you, almost as if a taunt. But you do. Leaving is hard when love hurts. Having his hand reach below your skirt, feeling the panic all over again, knocking him down in front of his friends. You just don't know what the fuck it's about. You feel like you just want to shout, but you feel like you deserved it too. You did something, and the storm brewed. His kisses are repulsive, filthy bugs. You've never felt less safe in someone's hug. His uncomprehending stare says it all. It basically says, it was all your fault. You went over there that day. That night you felt everything slip away. To hide the bruises, you wear his shirt. Don't even notice the rip in your skirt. Always in control, the shirt announces. That's true at least, but your mind bounces. You don't know how, but you've made it. You're in the truck trying not to sit. You could have told them right away. You tried to, but no one cared anyway. You're an adult. You can handle this, right? Really? Not even close to quite. Who can handle getting stalked, seeing his friends and being mocked? Who can handle his child growing inside, keeping that night in the front of your mind? So you close your eyes and beg to the sky, just end all this, and you get high and think about how you said no. You went for it anyway, which goes to show. You feel, you see his next victim and feel revolt. You tell her, hoping that she'll just bolt. She stays in the cycle I was in, temper loss barely reining it in. Does she hide her bruises with makeup? Does she think that I just want them to break up so I can have them all to myself? I don't know, but I tried to help. Smoke rings appear before my eyes, like the moon's wearing a disguise. I hope that she gets her wish too, even though, like I said, she knew. She still stays there, and that's a part even thinking about it breaks my heart. I found a star, closed my eyes, and went to my car. Breathed in and out as I started it up, hoping to save her from this fuck up. She turns me away, scoffing meanly. I sit in the Jeep and ponder how cleanly I can get revenge on her for this. Knowing the pole won't let me resist. As I stand on the porch from someplace far, I see the rarest shooting star. It darts for a moment and I smile, close my eyes, breathe in, exhale.
For your poem. In every life you have some trouble. When you worry, make it double. Don't worry. Alright, so for our last round, we actually, I didn't know what to do. There's two people with the same score.
Of course there is.
There's always that.
Here, let me see.
So the top two are Jude and Nicole, and then Valen and Richard are tied at 49.1. What does that mean? We just do 4?
Yeah, let's just do 4.
Let's just do 4. Do you have a third come?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good. Because we're getting late on time, we were gonna have a couple other people go, but I think if it's okay with you, and then Kyle, is Kyle, okay? I think, let's just see where we're at the end and see if anyone wants to say so. Okay, so let's just keep going, into the third round, past 9 o'clock, yeah! Okay, let's do, I feel like I'm feeling Nicole. Nicole, you ready?
Does it really make some kind of difference to know what happened? To know what caused my injury? Can't I just hobble along in peace without being asked about it? Maybe if I were older, people would just let me be, assuming I had broken a hip or something, or else I figure, well, she's getting pretty old, so there's that. But when you're young, everyone wants to know the nature of your ailment. Even perfect strangers you lived past in the grocery store who moments before had been engrossed in which similarly labeled can of peas to buy. It's a strange phenomenon. One I've been trying to understand but keep coming up empty-handed because it would never occur to me to ask someone what happened unless it was a close friend. It must involve the same kind of people who slow way down to check out the scene of an accident because I've never understood that either. It must have something to do on some unconscious level with the seemingly perplexing nature of impermanence, which is something we don't like to think about and yet can never avoid because it parades all around us in plain sight. But we're still trying with all our might to hold fast to youth equals beauty plus perfect health. Still trying to put life in tidy boxes on the shelf so maybe we can sleep better at night. And it rarely strikes people that there's a potential for a crutch or a cane, sling or brace or other kind of supportive device to be the sign of something more substantial. Because when I walked with a wooden cane for a few years, I got all sorts of attention and asked a bunch of stupid-ass questions by people I didn't even know. And I grew tired of having to explain that no, I didn't twist my ankle or hurt my knee. I have a debilitating progressive chronic nerve disease. Thank you for bringing it up. Maybe what I should have done is developed an Aussie accent and told like an incredible outback tale about how the cane suddenly became necessary. Or went the other way entirely with a super graphic, disgusting account about why I'll never walk quite right again, dissuading them from ever asking some poor limping stranger, what happened? Or I could have just made my face long when they asked and said, I only have 3 months to live. Then I'd walk head hung mournfully away. Or I could have given the stink eye and say, the last guy who asked me that wound up needing this cane more than I did. Or if I could have opened the lid on some crazy, I would have pulled out my Jedi mind trick action, waved my hand slowly and said, you will just let me pass by and stop wasting my time. So the next time you see someone you don't know sporting something you're not used to seeing, please suppress your questions, let them go and mind your business. Words are powerful. They can harm or heal. And mostly we'd be better off staying quiet, tuning out of our heads and into our hearts, and shutting our mouths. Shoot, well, that's a hell of a good place to start.
Feeling songs after each poem. Just in response to your poem. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? Something for me.
Sure thing, baby.
Okay. I got 9.6. I have a 9.2. Everything's better with a 9.5. Right, nice scores, Nicole. Okay, let's get Richard up here. Surprise.
So yeah, without wax, perfect in our imperfections. Is how I should read that. Ready?
Yeah, yes,
Oh,
please.
sorry.
Sorry.
This one's called Changes. I need inspiration to write the things that are inside of me. Experimentation. Running on fumes day by day. But I'm gaining strength every way I stay the pace of gaining from staying the same. This trek is not a game and I don't intend to play. From this day forward, taking orders from the King, Amen. Staking all in order to praise his reign over sin, Amen. I must live my life as a holy vessel, as we don't wrestle with flesh and blood. Holy Ghost is our threshold above, as we're gripped and nestled by his love. It's time now to achieve all we can be. Believe for all that there is to see in our realities, my life, more than principalities, born more than conquerors in Christ Jesus. You have been imparted immortality. Lose that half-hearted loss without a cause mentality. Rise and mean it. The reason is morality at the basic level of meaning, so seize it. Salvation beckons you and I. Don't you perceive this? What we risk is more than we can afford to miss. More than a dream, more precious than any wish. Please heed these words, nothing short of a gift. It's my way to say on behalf of my Savior, your worth is far greater than this earth has to offer. Until the millennial reign that comes a bit later, where all creation lives in balanced harmony and we are here with our Creator. Hallelujah, his blood running through us as we're his children and his friends. The one who chooses by name, eternity, life everlasting, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end.
while I tally those up, Valen, come on down.
Gonna be gentle. This one's called "On Being the Meanest Person in My Life." I remember the first question my meditation teacher asked us was if we loved ourselves. Everyone looked down, ashamed. A couple of shaky hands rose halfway up, but my friend's hand shot straight up without a second of hesitation. And I didn't understand how it was possible to love so surely when you knew every mistake you've ever made. I have always been the kind of idealist to string paper hearts up on Valentine's Day and believe that love just might save the world. In other people and in the whole of existence, I saw so much to love. But when it came to myself, all I could ever see was everything I had failed to become. Hating yourself is like living with a bully you can never escape. There is no relief from the torment. There is nowhere to hide from the fact that you can't stand yourself. No one has ever hurt me the way I've hurt myself. Self-hatred doesn't just stay in your mind, it will bleed into everything you do. You will become a chronic apologizer. You will say, "I'm sorry," more than your own name. You will say it over and over again. "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." It's never about what you did. You're apologizing for your very existence. I started meditating because I thought it would help me finally get my act together, that maybe I could finally be enough. But the problem was never in all the ways I failed, but in all the ways I judged myself. I had to look at every wound littering my body, acknowledge that I did this, that what was truly hurting me was the meanness I reserved only for myself, and that maybe there's a lot more to me than all my failures. I'm still learning how to love myself. I think I always will be. But I'm making friends with the bully inside me, and I'm teaching them how to be softer.
Okay, last up is Jude, and then we're closing this puppy down. It's the only nonprofit gallery doing poetry slams. Okay, 9.1, 9.6, and an 8.8.
Y'all want to hear about injustice or love?
Love.
Injustice.
Love.
The same thing. Great. Very clever. Well, you chose the one that I don't have memorized, so that's great. For the energy we are blessed with, we will see who will mess with, who will it be. It doesn't matter cause, well, what's lent to me, well, I'm flattered by the principles of matter and the atom's simple smash and splatter way of reacting. They just happen to be acting out like a child acts out to figure out how to be reacting aloud and what's allowed. We're all concerned with being appropriate, groped to elope and living is our opiate, living out, learning how to cope with it. See, living is like paying rent to me. And for the air I breathe and food, farmers fertilizing and picking in the youth, serving for me. Are you working for me? I'm working to learn for you. See, for every breath I desire to take, I aspire to write a letter. 17,000 to 30,000 a day, write what I may and whatever's not better. Put it in the shredder, you couldn't let her go, just let go and find your equivalent. Did you pay the rent for your body lent by your pair of parents and apparently your invisible deity? All isn't visible and nothing is free in me, all is fleeing me. And our planet, ain't nobody planned it, it just spun out of dust. Ain't no other trust but between the wind-beaten granite and the air that rusts. We inherited us, and the air isn't us, but it is us. And honestly, her spirit is haunting me. And it's daunting to me to flaunt what I want in a rhyme like this, but there ain't no time like this, and time is fickle, and I'm sick of little insecurities. Self-conscious, please, and I don't say this flippantly. I love her 9-foot-high shins clipping celery knees, celery green seas in her eyes. In eastern Oregon, western sun on the rise, when you want to go back, she asks. Well, I'm relaxed. Maybe Sunday, maybe someday. Some say you're lucky to just know love. Well, then I am fortunate self. Fortunate to be portioned in the heat of the evening with a woman who speaks, who makes these sunburnt eyes leak and the little boy deep inside me weep. She is the breath between my beats and the beaded sweat cooling my foolish cheeks. She's the soothing shade from where the sun never sleeps, and she's the pair of feet my cat is fond of beneath my sheets. She is the California thunder tumbling under your eardrums, balum rumbling my deep mental recesses, unfettered regrets, regressed, rewritten, spitting out lettered fits of memories. If I am Jay Saltz, she is my K Sweets. And honestly, honest to the God I don't believe in, but probably believes in me, thank you, time, and thank you, oppressive and unoppressive energies for lessons, and the messes in all of our transgressors, oh energy, it's leasing me out to you all to unleash me. Thank you.
All right.
Some quick math here. 8 and 6 is 4, and carry 1, and 0, and then 9, and 8, and 5, okay, then 3.4, and point, this is what's going on in my head, it's real narrative. Okay, 0.6, and then 0, and here's 1, and 80.6. Okay, here are the winners. Get ready for some Big Up Pizza, Nicole! And then runner-up is June with an 80.6. Okay, do we want to hear one more poem by a 16-year-old before that? Your voice is most important before we end the night. Yeah.
What do you think about me? Okay, so I go to Sealy Swan High School and I am with my creative writing class today. Bathtub still life featuring Swedish Fish. When you're sleeping in a hotel bathtub, you are your all-time low. Why are you sleeping in that hotel bathtub? There are 2 nice warm beds in the main room next to you. How can a bathtub be comfortable or fitting? First, become small. Small as if you are nothing. Lean against the wall opposite the faucet. Place a leg on either side and try to relax, as if you are on a sunny beach. Now, why are you sleeping in a bathtub? Because you're trying to keep the feelings of love and remembrance from running down the drain. You try to keep them contained in the bathtub. There is always that one scene in the middle of a movie that shows the main character sleeping or sitting in a bathtub, all alone just thinking. Not even the distant train noises can drive out the sounds of him leaving, slamming the door, tears drying on your cheeks as you choke on a broken heart. The only thing you can do is stare into the moldy tile walls that surround you, 3 corners and all. Like an old gas station sink and unscrubbed toilets, with bacteria swimming like your hands. Bathtubs are great. Bathtubs will become your new best friend. Bathtubs will always be there for you. If you need to bathe, just strip your tear-dampened Pikachu shirt or whatever You can write poetry at 4 a.m. while not bothering anyone. You can watch Netflix for hours upon hours while devouring 3 tons of Swedish fish. Until red turns to creamy. You can watch The Notebook and eat a tub of rainbow sherbet and cry, and even after all these things, people will judge you for sleeping in a bathtub. Sleeping in a bathtub is not a walk in the park. It is tricky to fit 2 people in a cold porcelain shell comfortably. It becomes a third world government when there is no ice cream, Netflix, or red number 40 colored fish. When you can hear outside the window the sounds of people talking on their phones about the love they never truly had, stray dogs barking. Remind you about a slip on your door saying you need to get out because you can't afford them. When you feel lost at 2 a.m. when listening to heartfelt alternative rock songs. And you chew on ideas as if they were Swedish fish. When all the real world problems hit along with your own stubborn regret, the only thing you can do is curl up in a bathtub, not pay rent. And you chew on ideas as if they were Swedish fish. Writing poetry is like sleeping in a bathtub. You do it because of feelings.